Hello, my name is Charles McCain. I'm the author of a novel called An Honorable German, a World War II epic told from the point of view of the heroic yet deeply conflicted German U-boat commander, and the first such novel ever written by an American author. I spent almost 25 years researching this novel. Certainly wouldn't have done it if I'd known it would take that long. But nonetheless, I read hundreds and hundreds, 1,000 books more, I don't even know. But because I've read so many, I thought I would sort of share some of that knowledge, and maybe you'll find it worthwhile. The book I'm going to just review right now is Bounden Duty, the Memoirs of a German Officer by Alexander Stahlberg. Alexander Stahlberg is not important for who he was, but for what he did. Alexander Stahlberg was from a very aristocratic Prussian family, but the most important thing is his uncle was Henning von Tresckow. And if you saw the movie Valkyrie, Kenneth Branagh played the part of Henning von Tresckow, who was the central movement in the German resistance in the German army against Hitler, and had coordinated a number of attempts on Hitler's life. Henning von Tresckow had Stahlberg placed as the personal orderly officer, or ADC, to Field Marshal von Manstein. Field Marshal Erich von Manstein was the best German ground commander of the war, and probably the best ground commander of any country at war during the Second World War. Most of his fighting took place in the East in Russia, and so he's not very well known. Somebody like Rommel is much better known, but he really didn't accomplish anything. He just had good PR. But von Manstein unquestionably had the respect of his peers. And if you want to understand German military history in the Second World War, you need to know as much as you can about Erich von Manstein, because he was a towering military figure. His family will not release his papers because he was involved in atrocities, which we have affidavits, historians have affidavits for, and his name on signatures. He perjured himself at Nuremberg, was given a long sentence, and then released on medical grounds after 3 years, and staged a miraculous recovery and lived until 1973. Alexander Stahlberg, in essence, was his shadow from November of 1942 until the end of the war, and literally was on every conversation, wrote all of his letters except the ones he wrote to his wife. So what is so important about this book, which isn't particularly well known anymore, is that it's not about Alexander Stahlberg, it's about his time with Field Marshal Erich von Manstein. That's why you would read it. It's also well written. When it was first published, of course, everybody in Germany, for instance, knew who Stahlberg was, but now people have forgotten, and they've forgotten here if they ever, in the U.S. if we ever knew. So, but the reason to read this book is to learn about Erich von Manstein, and if you want to know that and you want to really study German military history in World War II, you should read it. Certainly, I give it 5 stars. There's no other book like it. It's the most complete portrait of von Manstein we'll ever have. I'm Charles McCain.